Hello and welcome to another game of StarLadder. It is day number 17. We are here with StarLadder Season 6. In the group stages, about halfway. We are having only up until next week, Friday, for all the games. So a lot of games still to be played, as the average number of games played is around 7 today. And all teams need to play in total a total of 15. So that is gonna be the story of today. We have got 2 more games after this one. After this one, we'll see DD versus Power Rangers and then DD versus KP. For now, we are here with Empire and iCCup, and I say we because, of course, we have 3 people once again here to provide you with all the coverage that you need. We have got K-poptosis providing you with the stats. You won't see him. You only see what he does inside the game. And also, of course, with me is Kanaz. Welcome back to the broadcast, my co-caster.
Glad to be back.
What are you expecting from this team, from this game, rather?
I don't really have too many expectations here. Empire, obviously, they haven't looked very good lately, and looked a little weak in that last game as well. But iCCup not also the highest caliber team either. But usually they play pretty well, and I would probably expect them to be taking this if Empire don't, pick something up here and manage to play a little bit beyond what they've been showing us lately.
Wow, and they already give away a life stealer of all heroes that you can choose to give away, with a Wisp, a Bat, a Keeper of Light, and a Magnus getting banned out this game. And yeah, I mean, iCCup is a bit known as the CIS team killer. They were able to get 2 wins of Virtus Pro last Saturday, so that's 2 pretty impressive wins. And yeah, just a CIS team killer, basically because all the players in iCCup have been in the scene for a very long time. They know the CIS scene inside and out. They go to a lot of events, a lot of LAN events as well, a lot of LAN experience between the players. And they know the players in the CIS scene. They know the teams, they know what they do, they know their weaknesses and their strength, and they try to create their strategy around that. So we're gonna see if they can also take down Empire here, as Empire managed to get their hands on the Lone Druid, so a very strong hero also for Empire as a first pickup, and the Shadow Demon, one of the best supports there to set up anything that you want, or to be very defensive with that in a safe lane.
Yeah, definitely pretty good powerful heroes that they're picking up here, Lone Druid and Shadow Demon. Interesting that they pick up the Lone Druid very quickly and then spend a lot of their bonus, or at least a good portion of their bonus time actually thinking about the Shadow Demon. So it looked like they weren't really sure what they wanted to do with the draft yet, where they want to go against the Lifestealer, but they knew Lone Druid, that's a hero we want to play. And probably looking to be in the hands of Light of Heaven if they're going to continue playing him in the off-lane role. Otherwise we could see it in the hands of Blow Your Brain, but I don't think I've actually ever seen Blow Your Brain play Lone Druid.
He's more of that hard carry type, as I mean, yeah, I'm agreeing with you on the offlane. Light of Heaven sometimes play it. They have been messing around with their roles a lot lately, though. You've seen Light of Heaven on off lanes, we've seen him on support roles, and yeah, we can't really tell just yet what they plan on doing with it. It might be a bit of the strength that Empire has at this moment, that they can be very unpredictable because teams just don't really know what to expect from them at this moment, as they're still trying to tweak things out. Gyrocopter gets picked up by iCCup now, and that's 2 cores on their team already, and they pick themselves up a Rubik, a very nice support as well, that goes together with a Gyrocopter. Of course, Rocket Barrage after the telekinesis is pretty powerful, and also a support that can be very defensive as well if you want to. So I really like iCCup's lineup. I'm actually thinking aggressive tri-lane with Lifestealer on the safe lane perhaps, or something, and then Gyro and Rubik and something else on the aggressive tri-lane. What do you think?
They can definitely run the aggressive trialing either with the Lifestealer or the Gyrocopter. Basically, whichever one they want to get better farm, they can send to the bottom lane. Lifestealer is pretty effective 1v1 with Lone Druid, because the bear just takes so much damage from Feast early, and that gives Lifestealer so much anti-harass because he steals all that life from the bear with its max HP pool being huge early on in the game. So they might be planning on running that, maybe just going to say, hey, Lifestealer, we're going to match you up against Lone Druid, try and set that up, and then we'll run a tri-lane into wherever they throw their tri-lane, trying to just contest farm that way.
Yeah, that would be a very good solution to that. Of course, Weaver picked up now for Empire. They have played Weaver quite often lately, though I believe they mostly they played it on tri-lanes with the Shadow Demon there, the Soul Catcher, making for that Shakushi to really hurt a lot. But I have to say I'm not really convinced, because so far they don't really have anything yet that can keep them in the mid game, or well, unless their aggressive trialing will be very successful, which is basically what you're gonna have to go for if you don't have anything else that can keep you in the game in the mid situation, as we already have iCCup banning a couple of the heroes that have got that mid game dominance. The Queen of Pain and the Beastmaster, of course, with their roar allowing would allow Empire to really dominate that mid lane, and a targeted bans for a Scandal as well, as his Templar Assassin gets banned out and Puck and Lina banned out on the side of Empire.
Yeah, the Lina ban, it's just a pretty powerful support. Wouldn't have expected to see it really mid lane, but the other two just taking out mid heroes. Both teams were kind of lacking one at the moment, and we see iCCup going with a Brewmaster, so it's going to give them some team fight control and effective hero against the bear. You can just sort of cycle in the bear in the air and let it sit there during the team fight, and then Lone Druid's kind of stuck not really doing too much. And I think teams maybe forgot about that a little bit, how good Brewmaster really is against Lone Druid, just because of his ability to crowd control that bear out of the fight for pretty much the entire fight.
Yeah, and it remains to be seen what kind of role he actually will play, as we've seen a couple of teams running that Brewmaster as a support. But it might also be a Gyrocopter solo mid, and then having the Brewmaster together with the Rubik. Again, the same situation with the Rubik and the Brewmaster as the Rubik has with the Gyro. You have your telekinesis, and then your clap comes after that, because you have the time to walk up to where the target is going to land, and you will be able to be fairly aggressive with that. So the potential is definitely there to have like different kind of things for iCCup. I mean, worst comes to worst, they could also put Lifestealer in the jungle if you really want to do that, which is probably not something that they want to do, but in theory it is possible, of course. And Empire taking their time to think about what they want to pick up next. Do they still want to go for that aggressive trial? And we still have, I was gonna say a Nyx in the pool, but Leshrac also does the job fairly nicely, and of course Leshrac, one of the heroes that has got that edict that goes through the rage of the Lifestealer, so that is nice for them. And the Chen, the last pickup for iCCup.
Yeah, so with the Chen, looking like iCCup gonna run their tri-lane defensively, and then maybe just Lifestealer off lane, and then we'll see what Empire end up picking up. It's probably looking to be their mid hero at this point. Shadow Demon Leshrac is a pretty potent combo for supports, kind of the same way we see Lina get played with Shadow Demon, that you can just use it to set up Light Strike Array, the same way you can just use it to set up Split Earth for Leshrac.
10
so
seconds remaining.
probably what we're going to see there, and then Weaver tri-lane carry, Lone Druid off lane,
5
and looking for a
seconds
mid. There are tons of options. It really just comes down to what Scandal wants to play here.
Reserve time.
Yeah, it needs to have something that can create that mid-game presence. The question is, what is still in the pool that can really do that? Because
Admiral Kunkka.
well, there you have it. It's the Kunkka.
That's a hero that can create some mid-game presence. Has a ton of disables, and of course, like we were talking about earlier, the rum from the Ghost Ship is so powerful for keeping your team alive in those like mid-game fights until there's a lot of damage coming out to just kind of shred through it. Because 50% damage reduction, that's a lot of damage reduction.
Yeah, wow. Empire and iCCup facing in December 2012. I believe that they also faced each other, well, not in this lineup though, Empire, of course. They faced each other at Tech Lab in March. But iCCup actually were able to reach second place there, I believe. I believe Empire in the end won the whole thing. But again, that was with a different lineup than they have right now. Of course, Empire having swapped around plenty of times as... oh, I have to get that one. There we go. Well, as that is... well, that is a bit forced upon them. They didn't really choose to swap around their roles all that much, to be fair. But they did win Tech Labs. I remember the picture. That's right. They won. Empire won Tech Labs. That is. I believe iCCup got second, but they were able to beat down teams such as Na'Vi and that place. So, anyways, let's see who's playing what. We have got Blow Your Brain playing the Weaver in this game. It will be Screen on the Shadow Demon. SFG playing the Leshrac. Of course, these two are supports, but they have been supports for a long time, and Screen actually has been drafting for Empire for a few days now already. As Light of Heaven will be on this Lone Druid. And we'll be seeing Scandal playing the Kunkka in that mid lane. As we just heard, that resolution is 16 years of age.
The battle begins.
I wonder why that came up.
I don't know.
It's weird. Alright.
Yeah, we have got, of course, your poll. If you want to vote for iCCup, your exclamation mark vote iCCup, or Empire, exclamation mark vote Empire. Who will win this matchup? One of the two teams obviously is gonna do it. The question is who. Oh my god. Mag with the haste rune might be in a bit of trouble. The disruption could be there. There it is. Is there more of the split earth? Is it going to be in time? No, it is not. There is the haste rune, and Mag just runs himself into safety very, 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 very fast. And he'll be on a suicide lane, by the way. Oh yeah, sorry, you were introducing iCCup.
Yeah, iCCup. So, Radiant side, we're going to have iCCup Resolution in the mid lane. On the Brewmaster, or top lane, it's going to be Mag. Playing the Lifestealer. Ouija's going to be on the Chen in the bottom lane in the jungle. Always want to fly for the Rubik. And finally, Jackal playing the carry Gyrocopter in his safe lane.
Yeah, it looks like he is going to be having the safest of safe lanes because there's nobody here from Empire that is really going to contest him for farm, as Light of Heaven is actually in the dire jungle at the moment, so might be trying to get some jungle farm going. Even though normally we actually see lone druids going for those pools and stacks and such like that, but he doesn't even want to try. He is just going to be going into that jungle. They're planning on making the life of Mag a living hell. Though, thinking about that, Mag actually is I mean, he's a life stealer. He's already kind of dead looking. Maybe he's already in hell, even though he's on the Radiant side. There's birds there and trees. I guess he's not. Never mind me.
Alright. Yeah, life stealer, he's like a zombie or some crap,
Yeah,
right?
see.
Who knows what's going on with him? Look at those eyes. They're like black with yellow pupils. That's insane. Who knows what's going on with that guy?
Yeah. Like a demon.
Dire's bottom tower is
Supernatural style. Oh well. Scandal in the meantime, he is 5-0 already. Resolution is not really able to get close, even though he does have 8 last hits. Melee versus melee, I mean, it is two tanky heroes up against each other. I was thinking Scandal was going to get the most of the harassment out of there, but we do have the Drunken Brawler picked up by Brewmaster, so a bit of crit chance should he be able to land a hit upon Scandal. Was kind of expecting maybe he also went for a bit of a Drunken Haste and maybe just try to go for missed chances for Kunkka, as iCCup is not going to be able to reach the tower 2 minutes in. Of course, that was one of the bets that people made in the Western qualifier, but not even in this game they are able to do it. They are taking down the tower though very convincingly, with the Chen creeps helping out, pulling the lane back. But the last hit will still go to Jackal, as that one siege creep, not in there. Ah, there we go. Actually, he doesn't get it. Range creeps are there. Resolution pauses the game as we wait for a second more.
Yeah, I think I'm pausing a little bit here. I'm not really sure what's going on with them. But tower going down early, not a surprise. They have Chen on their team. No one's down here at all defending the tower. Light of Heaven can't even really rotate safely to the bottom lane of the Lodra to try and defend the tower. So it goes down quickly, and yeah, like you were saying, the 2-minute tower kill, we can see why that was a terrible, terrible bet in the compendium and never happens.
Yeah.
Even with this, where they basically immediately went to the tower and started pushing, 2 minutes 15 seconds.
I actually think I voted that it would happen, but yeah, I should have looked at the timer better, because I thought early tower is possible, but this is a 2-minute tower is very early. And Kunkka getting picked up 39 times in the last week. That's just in the last week. That's quite impressive. Kunkka, welcome back to the metagame, dude.
Yeah, Kunkka, it's like everyone just kind of figured out, oh yeah, Rum is really powerful. It's a really powerful effect. We could just send him into the mid lane and just let him go from there, get some levels, and eventually in team fights, your team just doesn't die. And that's usually a good way to win the game.
Yeah, your team doesn't die. Well, yeah, I think that would be a good thing to win the game. And the fight, of course, I mean, you have to make sure that the fights don't get drawn out too much though, and that is something that iCCup can do, because they do have that Chen, and if he gets that mechanism fairly early, you have got that Hand of God and a mechanism, and all of a sudden that boat buff can work against Empire, because if the fight lasts too long, they'll still end up taking the damage that iCCup threw at them while the run was on, and they'll be able to, iCCup should be able to clean up fairly early, especially with that flank cannon helping out, of course, from the gyrocopter if people try to escape. And the amount of burst damage from Empire is actually not that big.
Yeah, they don't have a ton of burst on their team, but they have some good staying power. Obviously, Leshrac, if he gets later in the game, is one of the supports that can do a ton of damage with that Pulse Nova as ultimate. And Edict does some good damage in fights as well. If he decides to get Lightning Storm, that can hit so many targets. Shadow Demon, he doesn't really do a lot of damage necessarily as the game goes on, but Soul Catcher is always an effective ability for increasing the damage other people do. Demonic Purge is great for going through BKB-like effects. So they have some good staying power for the fights, and really, if they have some survivability added on from the rum. Like, obviously you can't rely on the rum forever. It does have a duration. When it wears off, you start taking all that damage again back. So you have to be careful from that then. But if they can survive long enough to just put out enough damage and take a few heroes down and not just like all stand around until the rum wears off and they all have 1 HP, they'll be fine.
In theory, they should indeed be fine, as we have Mag running away from the incoming gank that was there, and apparently iCCup having a bit of not so smart people in the team, so some technical issues being resolved. Even though some teams would say, like, saying retard would be very, you know, aggressive to someone, but oh Mag, he rages, he lives, but not on very high HP. He is forced to pop a salve. But yeah, Russian and CIS teams in general, just a bit more loose on the flame than other teams might be. Oh, and that's a way more even score than we've had so far. I believe 67% in favor of iCCup, 33% having faith in Empire that they will take this game. Who do you favor now that you've seen the lineup?
With these lineups, I think I like Empire's lineup a little bit better, but iCCup's is pretty traditional for what's going on right now in the metagame. So it could definitely, both are very capable of winning, and as per usual, it's going to come down, I think, to what happens in this mid lane. Who gets far ahead to start things off.
Oh, well, before we are going to see what happens mid lane, looks like top lane is going to be having a bit of extra company. Mag is, of course, trying to bake something out right now with the disruption on cooldown. Here comes the rest. Telekinesis there. There's the rage. Open moves. A Shrek will go down first. Mag getting the credit for the kill. Blow Your Brain might still try to get Always Wanna Fly. Sentry Ward goes down, though. And he should not want to chase that one. They open wound him. He cannot escape. The test of fate is there. And that's a second kill going the way of iCCup. Screen on the run. And I don't think he'll be able to run very far. Maybe SFG can help him out a bit. Gencrypt getting stunned. And disruption there once again. Off cooldown. Will allow Screen to get away. iCCup. Perfect bait from Mag. Making sure that the disruption was on cooldown before the rest of the team went in. And baiting out that kill. 2 kills going their way, and of course the most important one, Weaver, actually went down there as he is actually trying to get some revenge. Mag, he doesn't have enough mana to rage. Blow Your Brain can try to dive this Hezga Shikushi, but the telekinesis from Always Wanna Fly. Oh, really? Do you want to do this? He wants to go for Always Wanna Fly, then he should be able to at least get this kill. Nicely done. Might not get the life stealer, but at least gets a support there. As, whoa, we just dig. What are you doing there? Edict, yeah, of course he goes down, but maybe he's able to take down Screen with him, with the Centaur chasing him down, looking for that hit. Can he get the hit? Can he get the hit? It doesn't look like it. Split Earth will kill off the Centaur, and Screen on 4 HP lives. And all of a sudden, 2 versus 2, because iCCup stuck around with 2 low HP, and I'm not sure why the Chen still was in that jungle.
He was trying to gank Shadow Demon there, and the Leshrac wasn't there to start the fight. Shadow Demon bought some time with the disruption, was able to move around, and eventually Chen just was kind of caught in a position, so out of position, ends up going down. So yeah, Empire taking a couple kills back helps them a lot since they gave away those 2 kills that they probably didn't really need to. They were going really aggressive on the Nakes and got just kind of caught off guard by the supports rotating up there. But they take it back now, doing a little bit better, and C continues to get the best of the farm because it's looking like it's iCCup at the moment.
Yeah, we did have Resolution already using his Brewmaster ulti, by the way, which is, by the way, a very long cooldown. A total of 3 minutes he won't be able to use it, and he didn't get a kill with it. He is 32 for 3 in the mid lane, with Scandal sitting on 28 for 3, so very even. No extra denies up on one more than the other, so levels are very even as well. Just a farm slightly in favor of Resolution. Torrent will hit on the creeps, Resolution dodging it deftly. But yeah, I mean, just using your ulti and not getting anything in return. Wait a second, top lane has some issues. Leshrac getting netted, lands a Split Earth, doesn't actually hit. Disruption might still be enough to save that Leshrac, but Mag will make sure that it doesn't. He is running away though, not for so long, because Weaver just with the kill, want to go for Regis Zig as well, want to go for a double kill, should be able to get it, one more hit needed, and it's the Shadow Demon that picks up the kill. Nice kill secured by Screen. 2 kills going the way of Empire. They do take the Leshrac down instead, but not a worthy trade for iCCup this time.
No, it's a very good trade for Empire, and it's helping to shut down Lifesteal even more. I talked about farm kind of going the way of iCCup. It is going their way in the two other lanes. Light of Heaven's not really farming as much as Gyrocopter, and Kunkka's a little bit behind the Brewmaster at this point. But top lane going very heavily in favor of Empire. We see 35 last hits for Weaver, 8 for the Lifestealer, who's been pretty much completely shut down. I'm surprised he's even still coming up here. Lifestealer can jungle, and probably would be a better decision at this point. And certainly, like, Chen is in the jungle, and you kind of want him to say, like, hey, Chen, you can try and get your farm, but Lifestealer, he needs something. And he's going to be level 5 now. Weaver, what level is Weaver? 8?
Oh,
That's
Resolution might be in some trouble here. Nah, just harassment coming up from Scandal, never mind that. But yeah, you're right. I mean, Mag, he is still level 5, while Weaver is level 8. That's just, I mean, that's just a huge difference. And even though, of course, I mean, he has now died once, he still has 2 kills. His gold is, I mean, in terms of net worth, it's not that bad, but he's still lowest of all the people that are actually trying to get farm. So, yeah, he probably should try to make a change somewhere. Although, taking farm away from Jackal is not the best thing to do right now, because Jackal is actually the only one that is higher than the Weaver, as we do have a smoke up from the 2 supports. For Empire, they want to go for Resolution, knowing that the split's actually back again, so he's gonna get forced to use it or he dies. He dies. Both coming in, and Scandal taking a very, very secure kill there with the 2 supports, of course. Chaining those commands up really deftly.
Yeah, enough stuns, and of course the Soul Catcher for the amp damage. It's just enough to take him down. He's not able to use a split in time. Almost got it off actually before the Torrent hit, but not quite enough time, and just ends up losing his life, and that's a pretty good kill to get. Helps Kunkka, builds a little room for him, and he's not really far behind the Brewmaster, but keeping the Brewmaster down, definitely an important thing to be doing right now.
Yeah, and with the time that Resolution was away from the lane, he is actually right now Kunkka that is ahead in terms of net worth. And, wow, 50% win rate. That is quite impressive with that many games played between the 2 of them. Shadow Demon Kunkka combination, one of the most famous ones, as Resolution gets locked in by that disruption. Sentry Ward getting countered instantly though, so Mag coming in to help that one out. He's actually level 6 right now, has got that infest. Let's hope that his supports have stacked some creeps. Doesn't look like that's the case though. Of course, with that infest you can clear those stacks out really easy, but no can do. Of course, we just take we just take trying to take most of that in the jungle, even though his farm is not actually that high in terms of net worth. But he's also been buying some wards and just trying to control the map a bit in that regard, as the lone druid Light of Heaven rotating towards the top lane, wanting to take down the tower. Light of Heaven also level 8. We haven't seen him yet. He has got a Hand of Midas. Open up on the bear. Bear might actually drop, will drop before he takes down the tower, and Jackal coming in here as well. They don't try to take down any of the heroes, but they do defend their tower and in the end deny their tower, so that will be nice for them as Screen comes in looking for disruption, finds it as well upon the Chen. We just running away from that, but the Split Earth still hits. No extra follow up on that one though, and they have to be careful because Resolution does have his ultimate. And he has got stick charges as well as a bottle charge to get his mana back up to have enough to actually cast it.
Yeah, both teams sort of just poking at each other's defenses right now, trying to force them to make an error, and both playing it pretty safe. So it looks like both teams are confident in how their mid game is going to be going here. We'll see who ends up being right, but Resolution, he probably needs to make something happen with his Brewmaster split. He's getting close to Blink Dagger. It looks like he's going to try and rush it. Choosing not to pick up Arcane Boots or really any boots if he had decided to go a different route. So 300 gold from that, probably looking to get that up and then make something happen here with the Primal Split.
Yeah, he really, I mean, he is that one hero that in mid-game should buy time for his Lifestealer and his Gyrocopter to get more farm. And even more important right now, as we already pointed out, that Lifestealer doesn't really have anything, so needs even more time now to get his core items up. And so far Resolution hasn't been able to do just yet. He got killed off once. Of course he used his split before that, not getting anything in return either. And right now, maybe with a Blink Dagger he will be able to get something. And with the his Blink Dagger will be done in a couple of creeps. So he'll buy that in just a moment. And with that, I'm hoping that iCCup is gonna really start to pressure Empire, as Empire is unpressured as of yet. And as I already said, I mean, that lone druid, he is, even though he's in a jungle and not farming as fast, he is actually happily farming, and he's doing really well on the net worth for non-contested farming Lone Druid.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, Lone Druid just, he's got this Midas since Light of Heaven was just like, well, I'm never going to be in lane this game, so might as well hedge towards the late game. And he's doing it, and it seems to be working for him this far. Empire doing a pretty good job of holding on. Right now they're ahead in kills, and looks like there might be a fight in the mid lane.
Yeah, the disruption, the torrent, they want to stop Resolution from splitting. There comes the boat. Is it in time? This time the split is going to be there. No Blink Dagger needed just yet. They go for Light of Heaven. He is stunned right now. The cooldown coming down as well, and Light of Heaven is the first one to drop. SFG trying to do what he can, but he gets burned to death by the Fire Panda. As Mag gets a torrent, will go down. That's the first kill on the side of iCCup. It's 2-1. Rocket Barrage, blow your brain. In some trouble, the clap hits, but there's no vision, and he will be able to run himself out of that. Maybe they can still get a support Shadow Demon though. Telekinesis was there, but the damage isn't. The flak cannon is not enough to take him down, and Jackal had to dodge that torrent to be able to not get killed off instead. So in the end, a 2-for-1 trade. He's still, I would say, going the way of iCCup, mainly because they were able to kill off the Lone Druid, and we already know that the Lifestealer doesn't really contribute that much anyway. Hello?
Hi, yeah. You're right. I'm
sorry.
I just didn't have anything to add to that part. They're trying their best. The split gets off. They needed one more stun. It was SFG, I believe. Yeah, Leshrac was just out of range, so he couldn't get the split off in time, and that allowed Resolution to split. And once that happens, the team fight becomes a lot harder, especially since they used all of their spells to try and shut down Resolution before he got the split. They had used the boat and the torrent combo and the Shadow Demon spells all on him. And when he gets the split off and you had already committed so much, it becomes a really tough fight. So it goes a little bit in favor of iCCup, but only a little bit. They end up sort of trading blows back and forth anyways. But losing Light of Heaven, that's kind of a big deal. So they're going to have to create a little bit more space for him probably. I'm sure he wants the armlet so he can start trying to take towers and really doing damage in these fights.
Yeah, and of course one thing to note is now that the ulti is on cooldown once again on the Brewmaster. iCCup, they invested a lot of time as well, and their ultis are actually on a longer cooldown than Empire's are. So, as you said, it's just a little victory, not a really big one, because they also are now kind of stopped from going in again on Empire and getting a real big win with their ultis that they have. So, they continue farming, and Empire, they find Resolution, but it misses. X marked the spot, a bit wrongly timed from Scandal here, maybe a bit rusty with playing this hero as he normally doesn't really play this hero, to be fair. We have got Weaver maybe going for Resolution instead. Clap is there, Resolution able to land a hit, but yeah, with that haste rune should be able to get himself out there. But look at the harassment that he already took. It's so annoying to deal with that. He does of course have that Blink Dagger and his entire team quite close by should something happen to him.
Radiant's top tower is
Yeah, but
under
we're seeing a
attack.
gank from the mid lane. We have the two stand-ins for Empire. Smoked up. Looks like they want to find someone. And they're going to probably find 4 if they try and engage here. We'll see if they can get something and get out clean.
Oh, the disruption is there. Here comes Mac though. He rages, opens up, but the demonic pearl slows him down, and always want to fly. He's already dead. Mac invests himself into a creep and runs away. The boat still comes in. Jackal trying to do what he can, dodges the boat, but the rum is still there for Empire. Shadow Demon still went down, and Tangle upon Mag gets torrented, gets killed off. Leshrac Split Earth on the mark. Weaver coming in, gets a test of faith. He still has a time lapse, of course, wants to go for We Just Dig. TP in from the Rubik, who wants to go for for Blow Your Brain. He almost gets it though, but the time lapse, of course, still indeed there as Leshrac gets picked up of the backhand. And Scandal taking a lot of damage as Mag, who just bowed back, gets a return kill there. And they are gonna chase down Light of Heaven. The bear is already dead by the looks of it. No, the bear is still there. They want to take down the bear. One more hit. He wants to blink away. Can't do it though. Resolution with the clap. And that is going to be Light of Heaven having to resummon his bear, which he'll do instantly because it looks like they want to still defend their tower. Here comes the bear looking to go for some entangles. Can't really find it right now. Can't really attack right now. Well, we'll see if he can get the deny in. Perhaps cooldown coming down. Force them back. Hits actually up on screen. Quite hard. Screen getting forced back. Open wounds up a Light of Heaven. No tower deny. Tower's going down rather. Light of Heaven. Telekinesis. He runs. He has to be careful though, because Mag, he might try to chase this. Won't do it. Split Earth stole around because Always Wanna Fly stole that. In the meantime, it was a Weaver that was still on the top lane. He managed to take down a tower as well. So in the end, it's a tower trade. The kill score is 8-8. And I don't think that iCCup really won that much with that fight. And they did use the Brewmaster split for that again. and that's quite the investment to make.
Yeah, they get the advantage in terms of kills coming out of that fight, because it's even now, and Empire did have a slight lead before, but they lose a tier 2 and they take a tier 1, so it's not like they actually lost map control. Well, sort of. I guess is tier 1's up in the Radiant side and the Radiant mid lane, so they have an advantage there. They took the tier 1 mids. It's a little bit more valuable than like the off lane tier 2 for the Radiant. They're not really ever going to use that tower for too much. But it is a gold advantage that did definitely go the way of Empire there.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, now there is a tier 3 tower there, and you have got that lone druid as well as a weaver. Both heroes are fairly nice when it comes to split pushing. And if Empire has an opening, also of course, if they are there with their team, you have got that edict going through. There will be a fast tier 3 tower going down if they actually manage to get there. And of course, you just lose your defense for that tier 3. And as K-pop just pointed out, Gyrocopter is actually doing really well this game. He hasn't died yet. He is a higher gold per minute than the average farmer, actually almost 100 gold per minute higher than the average. He has his BKB ready after last fight. And just Jackal not dying yet is actually quite big. His net worth is sitting on 8k, which is 1.3k higher than the highest up on Empire, and that highest just picked up tower gold. So even with that extra gold going to blow your brain, he is still sitting behind Jackal, who actually hasn't taken any towers. Actually, did he take the tower for the mid lane, or was it someone else?
He did not lose. He did not last at the tower, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Well, that is still a Gyrocopter. Yeah, still a Gyrocopter, very, very nicely farmed with his BKB and his Helm of the Dominator. And of course, having a bit of an ancient stack there to take down will help that as well.
Yeah, things looking kind of split right now. iCCup, they have the big carry lead with a Gyrocopter leading in net worth. But then when we look at the next 3 in net worth, they're all on the side of Empire. So it's kind of close right now. If they can get all 3 of these heroes pretty farm for Empire and sort of not get too far behind the Gyrocopter, things will look good for them. If Gyrocopter gets really, really far ahead, or if any of these heroes start really slipping up and like Nake's catches up, things will be problematic for Empire.
Yeah, especially if they continue shutting down Mag, because he's been shut down quite successfully. He has now got his armlet ready, so that will make a change for iCCup, but I mean, they've been able to kill him 3 times already, and he has just not been able to get that much in return for these fights. He is level 10, while that is actually the lowest of levels of all the people that are actually getting that farm, as in not counting the supports, and he's just having a tough time. Of course, you also still have the Brewmaster to try and help out for iCCup, but also he is not able to do as much as you might expect him to with his level 2 ultimate. Of course, we saw that in the previous fight. Where they didn't really win the fight, even though they did use that big ultimate that they do have access to. And iCCup, they just have to continue trying to get map control, trying to stop Empire from getting their own map control, and get their Lifestealer farmed up, basically. Buy time for iCCup to also get 3 cores up high on that net worth chart. Oh, was wanna fly, might be in some trouble. Gets warranted. Telekinesis there, and that's, whoa, that's a one clap. That's a Crystallis ready up on Scandal, and it shows. Resolution, he blinks himself in, wants to go for screen. Open wound's already there. Slowed enough down for Weejusic to take the kill. Maybe he can also get a Scandal. And yeah, that it was a crit. So that's gonna be something that Rubik is gonna be having to be careful about.
Oh,
Yeah, boat coming in with the torrent.
I wanna go mad. Careful, he rages though. It is nice. Boat buff still there, so they can't really go up on Scandal right now. Infest's out. Well, Infest in Jackal to get out, rather. He TPs himself into safety, or into safety. He TPs himself bottom. He TPs himself to Blow Your Brain, who is trying to go up on Jackal. They tried to lure him towards the tower to get that vision. Here comes the call down. The Infest out will be there. Open Wounds is not going to be there. Well, it is, but it's not slowed. Time lapse away from Blow Your Brain just in time to make sure that he got out on the wrong side of the tower for iCCup, where they weren't. And Mag left to his devices here with very low HP. And an armlet ticking his HP even further down. He does have 10 stick charge though. He's actually going to be getting some life back in that jungle. In the meantime, in the mid lane, the push comes on. Empire going for the tier 1 here. There is a torrent coming in, but nobody really hit. The split is there for Resolution. Maybe he can get something done. The boat comes in as well. This is actually Rubik's boat, I believe. As you are right, that the tornado just puts that bear completely out of place. Scandal in some trouble. There goes the stuns. Disruption is gonna be there. Will there be a soul catcher as well? Actually, there was a disruption from Was Wanna Fly. Doing the works here in this game, by the way. Was that boat from Scandal or was that boat from
both boats. They both actually used boat in that fight. Scandal used the first boat, and then Rubik always want to fly through the second boat. So 2 boats flew. Both teams used one. But we saw the power of the boat. Kunkka should have probably been dead there. He took a lot of damage very quickly, but the rum was just on him, and they were trying to kill him. And then the disruption also helping just buy some more time for him to stay alive.
It was from screen indeed, not from Regis. I was saying, always want to fly, throwing out everything there. But yeah, it was his boat. He still has it actually, so we'll be able to throw it out next time again. And well, Empire still got the tower, and the kill score is still 9-9. Empire is doing well. I mean, with all the fights that are being traded, which is just exactly what it is. They're just being traded. Empire is getting the better in terms of map control.
Yeah, they're definitely taking the advantage in towers in these fights. Like, Empire are not always necessarily winning the team fight, but they're getting something out of it. They've grabbed a couple towers. They're ahead by 2 towers at this point, which is kind of substantial, especially considering they really didn't come out that far ahead in the laning phase.
Oh, they want to go for Mac, but a bit miscommunication there as the boat still sails in.
That's always one of Flight's boat.
Oh, so confusing with boats.
So many
everywhere.
boats.
Boats for all you How I Met Your Mother fans. There you go. Have the reference or not?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay.
Yes.
I'm
familiar with the reference.
Okay. Well, Jackal is getting chased down by Blow Your Brain, who wants to dive this. He has to be careful though, because we just see coming here as well. He has a link as though Blow Your Brain, that is, so was able to time lapse and dodge the rest and just run himself away, but he doesn't get a kill for his efforts. But we'll continue to just farm for free, so why not?
Yeah, and that's actually not the worst timing for Lincoln's on Weaver. He got a drum before it, as well as the Tranquil Boots and the Ring of Keels, so he's got like pretty decent farm. We haven't actually seen Weavers getting a lot of farm most of the time they've been picked up lately. I think that's kind of one of the problems I've had, the hero sort of had, in how people look at him. A lot of times we're picking up Weaver, and if he's in tri-lane, it's sort of a really awkward tri-lane. But Blow Your Brain's been able to get some space here. He's gotten a couple tower kills at this point, I think. And just get some farm. He's almost caught up to Gyrocopter even in terms of net worth.
Yeah, he's doing really well for himself. In the meantime, Light of Heaven also catching more and more farm. He now has his armlet, and even though it's normally a fairly slow armlet, he actually went for a Vlad's first, and of course his Hanamida still being there as well. So he is overall also very high on that net worth list, as we do have now a BKB also up for Kunk, I believe that was. The courier now bringing it towards him. So the items up on Empire looking better and better to try and not just trade in these team fights, but actually win them as well. As we do have iCCup roaming, but they are walking right past some wards. And iCCup, they don't have that map coverage. They don't have their own sentry wards to counter the vision that Empire has. And Empire is just abandoning ship right now and leaving the Radiant jungle. They could, of course, try to go fight, but opt to just continue farming and maybe pushing a bit more, as Light of Heaven is already pushing on the top lane. See how far he can get with his bear.
Yeah, and Light of Heaven still moving up here. They're not reacting. TP's gonna come back now, Resolution's on his way. And that's kind of unfortunate. It looks like actually Mag infested in Brewmaster before he, just barely before that TP went off. So Light of Heaven should be getting, I mean, in fact, is teleporting out, but they forced TPs. From,
that's two
2
TPs used, yeah, and the inf is 2.5, yeah, in a way. The counter ward is here. The warding was still done, so my assumption was wrong, but Empire making sure that they still got the better of the control, and with that control they will also try to secure Roshan.
Yeah, and they just force iCCup to have to make a decision. Come to the top lane, defend your tier 3, get away from the Roche pit, or you know, you're gonna either lose barracks or you're gonna lose Roshan here.
Yep.
You gotta pick one.
Well, then they pick the obvious. They make sure that they don't lose Rex. We might see them still fighting for this, but I'm actually thinking they're gonna be too late looking at the Roshan. Going very fast, of course, with Scandal there and Blow Your Brain being very, very farmed, or quite farmed. And basically all 3 cores bashing on that monster right now.
Yeah, and calling out for Merlini pause here. Stop Merlini's pause. I don't know what we're going on here with iCCup. They're not actually saying anything. It feels like they're pausing quite a bit this game. But this Roshan should be pretty much done before anyone can even get close from iCCup, so I don't know if they're actually talking about Roshan, but I don't think they can contest it in any way at this point.
Resolution does have that Blinky Infest still ready, but if he goes in now, they're missing the Gyrocopter because he is very far behind. And do you really want to now try to fight when you know that Kunkka actually has 2 lives? I think it's time for iCCup to just hide and wait until the 6 minutes are over. Wait until the Roshan is taking his Aegis back.
And I think the problem with that, though, is Empire aren't going to give them the chance. They're already down at this tier 2 tower in the bottom lane. They're going to get at least this tower. And with that Aegis, they can try and force the high ground for tier 3. They have a bear as well.
Resolution already forced the split. We have got the Infest out still sitting on the Earthband. A cooldown coming down as well. Bear now being out of play. They need to find some kills, though. They are going to go for Scandal, but he, of course, has that Aegis. He did blow his BKB before the Aegis went. Jackal turned on his BKB. Want to be going to the back of the line to continue fighting there as the Weaver is just making life troublesome for him. We do have the Leshrac going down as well as the Chen, so in trade for support there, as we do also see now finally the real Kunkka going down, but as does the Gyrocopter. Mag trying to go for screen, but the disruption is there to save his life as Resolution managed to go back to himself, pick himself up a double kill, and now Blow Your Brain, the last one alive for Empire here. Will he be able to get a kill? Yes, he will. He gets a double kill as well, but he is out of life. Still has that time left, but not that convincing. There's no vision here for Resolution. He's trying to run away, trying to blink away. In the end, the trade favorable for iCCup. They do lose their tier 2 though, and they blow every cooldown they had, but they get the Aegis, they get Kunkka again after the Aegis went down. And I would say that's probably the best kind of fight that they would have hoped for.
So in the end, it ends up just being an even trade Aegis for tier 2.
Yeah,
they end up 4 for 4 kills. Weaver survived, Brewmaster survives. Weaver is a much more important target to survive than the Brewmaster at this point. Weaver's actually passed Gyrocopter and net worth by about 2k at this point. And that's kind of a big deal. Weaver getting bigger and bigger. Gyrocopter's not having as much success, and he can't really lean on the Lifestealer, who's currently sitting in the bottom half of that net worth list. So, also kind of problematic for them. And iCCup, these trades, they look like they're going even, but they're really not favoring them even when they do.
No, and at least they have still got this life stealer that later on, if they get the time obviously, will be able to pull back. I mean, he did play a pretty big role in that fight, but he is not as big as he probably would have wanted to be. I think the trouble for Empire is that, I mean, they have to stop trading at some point, because the longer they trade, and at some point maybe getting tier 3 towers would be then beneficial, but if they don't get those, then iCCup will end up coming out ahead, because they late game, and with the late game I mean really late game, should be able to, with the Gyro, with the Lifestealer, slightly out-carry Empire, especially with their team fight potential, with the Brewmaster being there, and just making sure that Lone Druid, Light of Heaven, is completely not a non-factor in that fight, because that bear is just up in the air constantly, as we have seen he has been during that fight. Just put the bear up in the air, kill off the master, and you don't have to deal with those entangles that would hurt the Lifestealer quite a lot. And well, there, iCCup rather, is gonna try to go again. There is an Infestor, blink in, they go for Light of Heaven, the split is there again, the bear will be up in the air once more, just like Light of Heaven actually, with the telekinesis there. The disruption is there to try and save his life, but it looks like it's not gonna be for long. The Light of Heaven will go down. They try to also take down Screen, and successfully so. That is 2 kills going away of iCCup, and that is the last tier 1 tower on the map.
But bottom lane.
Oh yay, that's not gonna be something good for iCCup. Blow Your Brain, split pushing together with Scandal. The tier 3 tower, they need to defend, they need to TP. Can they actually TP? Yes they can. Here they come. Jackal already here. Flak Cannon going through. Resolution also trying to help, but he doesn't, of course, have got that split. Goes in, collapse. BKB TP out from Scandal. Should be able to do just that, and there he goes. Even though he did take a lot of damage there, not enough to stop him from TPing out and actually falling on the floor and rolling over and die. In the meantime, Blow Your Brain, I mean, he's happy. He has only died once. He's got that Demon Edge right now. MKB on the way to just go through the Drunken Haze. Just make sure he doesn't have issues with that. Somehow the Shrek was still top. Surprisingly so. But yeah, he pays for that.
Yeah, so he's just like top trying to farm at this tier 2 tower, I guess, and Chet and Meg on the Lifestealer just walk over like, yeah, Leshrac, and they just kill him.
Yeah.
Very easy kill. So bottom lane, there's another fight going on Blow Your Brain.
Oh, he's trying to run. He doesn't have that time lapse. Actually, he goes down for the second time this game. He does take the gyro with him though. Like at least he's got that one. If he does go down, he'll take someone with him. Of course, that's one of the most important targets to take down, gyro. But lucky enough for Jackal, he already picked up his butterfly before he died. So he does have that most popular second item pickup on Brewmaster. 2 minutes. Under 2 minutes faster. That is actually quite nice for Resolution. Even if he had a bit of a tough time, I mean, in terms of not getting kills with his ultimate, he only died once. He has got that Aghanims ready now, and he's got 1900 gold to boot, so he's doing pretty solidly, I'd say.
Yeah, and it's Aghanims second to Blink Dagger, I'm assuming. We'll see if he can pop that setup, but it's probably Blink Dagger and then Aghanims is usually what happens. Sometimes, yeah.
Yes.
sometimes that the Brewmaster just doesn't get to Aghanims, but otherwise they'd be pretty close to even. It's like this very, very standard build that we see. Sometimes they change what boots they get. We see Arcanes here, but almost always what we see Brewmasters pick up. So nothing too surprising there. And it's working pretty much wonders. Like I was mentioning during the draft, it's really good against Lone Druid. If you can keep that bear out of the fight by just putting him up in the air, Lone Druid doesn't really do a lot of anything. 92%. Oof.
Yeah, surprise there. But yeah, you're right. I mean, that Brewmaster is really making these fights tough for Light of Heaven. He's not able to contribute, and he'll get a basher on his bear, which is, you know, awesome stuff. But what good is a basher if that bear is up on the air? And talking about bashers, Mag has finished his one. So there will be Mag with a basher, and he'll be able to contribute a bit more to team fights right now as well. As iCCup, I mean, we have the gold graph. It is very even, about 3k, 3.5k in favor of Empire still. But the towers are 2 towers in favor of Empire, and 1 tower equals about 3k gold. So imagine that, it would be around 0 if those 2 towers are taken down. We have got the experience graph around even as well, and a smoke off for iCCup looking for action. We see the drawing on the minimap, and they would walk right into Empire's claws. Then we'll find Blow Your Brain first.
Yeah, and Blow Your Brain, not the one they want to find first. They're actually going to be able to initiate on him very successfully.
Oh,
they're actually heading the other way. Yeah. They're checking the Ancients, and no one there. So it's like the double team 5-man smoke game going on.
The smoke, of course, indeed was up. It just ran out for Empire. But they'll come in from behind. They'll now realize where they are because they show themselves to the players. So this is gonna be a gank from behind. Let's see, Resolution gonna come in first. Here comes a blink. He claps. He splits. It is already nice disruption, but Screen will pay for that one. Always Wanna Fly goes down. SFG goes down. It's a 2-for-1 trade. A Scandal very low on life. His BKB already going down. He does take down the Chen as he goes with Blow Your Brain getting the last hit for that. It's a 3-for-2 trade. Blow Your Brain getting stunned up, going down before he can time the triple kill for Mag. And Light of Heaven, all of a sudden, the one that is able to get away, TPs himself out with a bear following suit, with just blinking after his master. And a brilliant fight for iCCup, just losing their 2 supports and keeping their 3 cores up. The question is, what can they get in return for that amazing fight?
Yeah, it doesn't really feel like it's going to be much. They should be able to get this tier 2 in the mid lane pretty easily. Weaver, 50 seconds or so until he actually respawns, so we should be able to get it pretty easily. But Light of Heaven's going to go and farm and try and just, you know, get something for his time. Unfortunately, he can't get to the top lane, because if he could, this creep went pretty close to tier 3 tower, and they could have gotten something for it.
What would you give for Boots of Travel right now? Split push for Empire, still something that is very, very potent. Especially with that tier 3 tower just bare there. And right now, of course, iCCup, they do take a tower for their troubles. They take the tier 2, so now only 1 tower difference, and they have got 1 lane bear as well. Just the mid lane having no tier 2 there is easier. A lot easier to defend for Empire than a tier 3 is, so should be a bit of in favor still of Empire in terms of locations where the towers are not there. A gold graph after that fight still going up, as in favor of iCCup, but still slightly in favor of Empire in total. But as we can see, it doesn't really make that big of a difference, especially not, I mean, if you imagine a tornado up on the bear and you see what the bear has, and it's like, oh, maybe he's actually going for an MKB as well by the looks of it.
On the bear?
Yeah.
That's pretty much exactly what you want, because he wants to be able to hit Gyrocopter, and he has that butterfly.
Yeah, true. But Weaver, of course, also having that MKB, as Weaver actually takes down Always Wanna Fly. Well, that's okay for him. That was a solo Rubik that he found. Nicely done. But yeah, I mean, if you put the bear up in the air, he basically, that gold, you just disable a lot of gold from Empire right there. So during a fight, you can put it in favor of iCCup. Experience grab with that fight going above the 0 line in favor of iCCup for that as well.
Yeah, without this Brewmaster, I don't know that iCCup would even be really in this game. They're still behind, or like they still have the triple core from Empire doing very well, all above the rest of the team for iCCup, ignoring the gyrocopter. But they can't really utilize any of that effectively. Light of Heaven's effectively doing nothing in fights because the Brewmaster can just lock him down.
Yeah. Oh, they blink in. There they go. Cooldown coming down as well. Boat coming in. It is Light of Heaven that goes down first. The Aegis was picked up by the Lifestealer, stolen if you will. And there goes the Leshrac, burned down very fast. Scandal will follow suit, and 2 heroes left running for their lives on the side of Empire, with Screen being the one followed by the Fiery Panda, getting stunned up right now, as well as the last one was the Weaver, and he actually was able to get himself out there. Courtesy of course, his time-lapse and his just evasiveness in general, but that's the only one that lives. And right now, tier 3 tower around the corner because the lane is pushed in. They got the Aegis. iCCup looking solid.
Yeah, and Kunkka and Weaver both have buybacks. It looks like they're not using it thus far. So they're giving up tier 3 and racks by not using these buybacks.
Yeah, knowing that if they would take a fight right now, it would probably... Well, if they would lose a fight right now, they would lose more than just their 1 set of racks. Well, if they just know fight, they know exactly what they will lose. Blow your brain, though. Oh, time-lapse just in time.
Barely gets out alive. He had buybacks, so it wouldn't have been a big deal if he died. But, like, he can't do anything. He's 1v5 because his team just lost that fight so badly. And Empire... they're just not looking like they're in a good position now with that fight.
No, it feels like they think that they are further ahead than they actually are by just going for that Roshan, not realizing that iCCup would actually just blink in and stuff like that and have got the fighting potential to do that. I mean, there was some vision at the Roche pit, of course, but it was too little. I mean, they would have to have a bit of extra vision there as their tier 2 tower now gets killed off as well. Will iCCup give Empire a bit peace of mind, or are they just gonna go to the next tier 3?
I think they're just gonna keep pushing at this point. AC is almost finished by Lifestealer, but he still has that Aegis, and they can force this fight pretty easily. Brewmaster ults up in a couple seconds. There it goes right now, actually. And there's the Infest, and a Shiva's Guard picked up on Brewmaster. They're gonna have so much damage with this blink, Shiva's, and then pop the ultimate. And they can't lock it down anymore. They just haven't had any success in a long time.
You have to get really lucky with Scandal to get your crit off. Blink in. Oh my god, that is already Shadow Demon on the floor as they pick a BK beat Kunkka next as if it's nothing. And there comes the buybacks as there were 3 heroes taken down. Weaver also taken down as well. Mag now in a bit of trouble. Let's see if he can eat his way through. He opens up on the Leshrac, who tries to do everything with Edict and Nova, everything up. But he'll still get picked up, just like the Kunkka for the second time. Now Blow Your Brain gonna go down as well. He just popped back, and the only one left alive is the Bear and his Master. And they cannot hope to do anything against this, as Light of Heaven will fall between the light of the tier 4 towers. And this is only the 3rd Brewmaster that bought a Shiva's Guard in a competitive match. And it looks like he is gonna be getting a win with it as well, because the tier 3 has dropped on the top lane, the racks will drop, and there's no buybacks left for Empire. In the meantime, I guess the lane bottom is pushing in, but I don't think that iCCup cares.
It's like negligible at this point. They're not even trying to push bottom lane out. They're just going to go for tier 4s because that tier 2 is still standing for Empire in the bottom lane. But there goes the GGs. They're out of this. You can't drop that many team fights in a row and that badly. They went like 5 for 0 and then a 5 for 1 immediately after it. Actually, like a 7 for 1. There were 2 buybacks going on. That's when you know you're completely done here.
Yeah, they just like to blow up everybody in the fountain here as well. As we are just waiting for the throne to explode, because indeed Empire, they called it GG. iCCup take 3 extra points for StarLadder Season 6. It is day number 17. We have got 2 more games coming your way. It is DD that we'll see twice. One's up against Power Rangers and the other one up against KP. So stick around for those. As, well, any final thoughts on the game for you?
Empire just... people talk about throws. That was kind of a throw. Empire had it in their grasp for quite some time, but they just never really locked down the Brewmaster the way they needed to. And they also never really focused on killing down the Fire Panda in the fights. The Fire Panda does almost all of the damage right now for Brewmaster. It'll be a little bit different with the change to Aghanims in the next patch, but that's not out yet for Dota 2. So they just took a lot of damage from these Brewmaster Pandas and never did anything about it.
Very true. Well, it is about 5 minutes before the next game will start, so get yourself a drink. Of course, in the meantime, you can also click on some links, because you can click on twitter.com/SheeverGaming or twitter.com/KanazDota or twitter.com/K-poptosis without the hyphen to follow us on Twitter. Of course, we are your casting team for today, and we are going to be with you for the next game as well. DD versus Power Rangers coming up in just a moment.